Welcome to NFL Imperialism. You may have seen this concept floating around YouTube, but I wanted to put my own spin on it by going through every season in the Super Bowl era and hopefully improving upon it. We simply spin a wheel with all the teams' names on it, then spin an arrow to see what direction they will take from their place on the map. Landing on another team's territory will give us that game. For a more thorough breakdown of how imperialism works, be sure to check out the beginning of our initial video of the 1966 season. That is linked down in the description below. Beneath that is a link to the imperialism playlist consisting of all completed imperialism seasons to date. Otherwise, we are ready to start. The early 2000s continue on with the 2006 season that brought with it a strange conclusion. The Indianapolis Colts winning a Super Bowl during this era isn't so much a surprise, just that it was this particular team. In our rankings, between 2003 and 2007, this was actually the weakest Colts team, but they pulled it together once the playoffs started, especially defensively, mostly corresponding to the healthy return of the man pictured here, safety Bob Sanders. In Super Bowl 41, the Colts defeated the Chicago Bears, a team that boasted an incredible defense, returning to the playoffs for a second straight season, but otherwise garnering little respect across the NFL spectrum. These two teams battled it out for the Super Bowl, but not for the top spot in our rankings. By a hair, that went to the New England Patriots over the San Diego Chargers, mostly owing to New England's upset of the Chargers in the playoffs. The Ravens were next before we get to the Super Bowl teams, with the Bears actually ranking ahead of Indy. And just 4 years after battling it out for the Super Bowl themselves, the Buccaneers and the Raiders have fallen from grace to the bottom two. Who will win 2006 imperialism? It's time to find out. We get our first spin of the wheel. It's going to be landing on the New York Giants. They're sent to the northeast into the territory of the Buffalo Bills. We're going to get our first game right on the field. The Bills find themselves down by 6 points in the fourth quarter, but J.P. Lossman makes this pass to Robert Royal, not known for his receiving chops, but makes a great diving catch in the end zone to give the Bills a 1-point lead. The Giants now have a 3rd and 11. Eli Manning looks downfield, will dump it off to Tiki Barber. He goes for the first but doesn't get it. So the Giants are going to try to take the lead here with a field goal, except that Eli Manning tries to pick it up and run with it. Terrible idea. That fails. Later in the quarter, this pitch goes to Willis McGahee. He gets through all the defenders on the Giants and gets into the end zone. That extends Buffalo's lead out to 28-20. And despite entering the fourth quarter, facing a 1-point deficit and being behind 13-0 early in the game, the Bills come back and win it 28-20. The Giants' attempted invasion comes up short. The Bills will take over their land and add Upper New Jersey to New York. We're ready to get back on the field. The wheel selects the Green Bay Packers. They're sent to face their perennial division rival, the Detroit Lions. The Lions surprisingly lead by 10 in the fourth quarter. This handoff goes to Kevin Jones, breaks through the defense, gets the touchdown, extending the Lion lead to 27-10. A touchdown exchange before the game ends leaves it with a Lion victory of 34-17. Over the last few seasons, Green Bay has certainly had Detroit's number in imperialism. Not this season. The Lions will take over the Packers' territory, getting their first victory in imperialism since the 1999 campaign. We get through our first round of expansion to now find a game. The Tennessee Titans travel to Atlanta to face the Falcons. Leading 7-0, Atlanta's on the edge of the goal line. Warrick Dunn will filter his way through the Titan defenders to get into the end zone for the touchdown, extending the Falcon lead to 14-0. We're not going to be very late in the game. It's 21-7. The Titans have it at the 16-yard line. Vince Young goes up the middle, cuts through the defense, and scores it on his own. So we're down to 47 seconds remaining, but the Titans have made this a 7-point game. They have no choice than to go for the onside kick. It gets laid down. No one's picking it up. Finally, Warrick Dunn himself will land on it. The Titans try to make a fourth quarter comeback, but they fall short. The Falcons win 21-14. And with that victory, the Falcons will be taking over the land of the Tennessee Titans. They move on. The Lions have already picked up a big win this season in Imperialism. They're going to welcome the Vikings and try to pick up another. Minnesota's in the red zone, leading 7-0 in the second quarter. Brad Johnson looks downfield for Marcus Robinson. He makes the catch and strides into the end zone to give Minnesota a 14-0 lead. The Lions' offense was nowhere to be found in this game. That's all the Vikings needed. 14-0 is our final score. The Lions may have been hoping to make a run this season. That's just not going to happen. The Vikings will take over their territory, and they've added the state of Michigan and Wisconsin to their territory. The Eagles take to the road. They will go into Buffalo to face the Bills. Philly brings a 14-7 halftime lead into the third quarter. From inside the 10, Donovan McNabb fires into the end zone. Reggie Brown is on the receiving end. That's a touchdown. Philly extends out to 20-7. They missed the extra point. It doesn't matter in the end. They get the 27-14 victory. Like the Lions before them, the Bills won a game but could do no more. The Eagles will take over their territory, and we've now eliminated 5 teams this season. Our one expansion, one game pattern continues. Tampa Bay goes to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars. And it's been all Jaguars. They lead 14-0 as the 2-minute warning in the first half approaches. David Garrard is going to find Reggie Williams on the comebacker for the touchdown. They lead 21-0. They actually get another touchdown before the half is over. They give up a safety in the third quarter, and that seemed to incense them as they ran up 28 fourth quarter points to win this game by the very odd final score of 56-2. There was a reason why the Buccaneers were a bottom 2 team this season. They weren't very good, but the Jaguars really turned it on. Rasheed Mathis had 2 pick sixes in the fourth quarter alone. They will take over the Buccaneers' territory and completely put them out of their misery. No expanding this time. Let's get on the field. The wheel lands on the Carolina Panthers. They head to the northeast, and it's not a big land area to hit, but hit it they have. They're heading to Washington to face the Redskins. Already leading 7-0 with the first quarter expiring, the Redskins have it. Mark Brunell will throw downfield. Antoine Randall L. makes the catch, turns around to find himself in the end zone. With the first quarter over, it's Washington leading 14-0. It's now 14-7. Washington punting deep in their own territory. Here come the Panthers with the block. That ball is loose in the end zone where Carolina scoops it up. Linebacker Thomas Davis making the play, presumably tying this game at 14, but Carolina wants to go for 2 here. It's in the third quarter. D'Angelo Williams gets the pitch but goes nowhere, so Washington maintains the lead. Still in the third quarter, it's now Carolina trying to punt. But Washington gets hands on that one too. Back-to-back blocked punts. Carolina falls on it, but it's Washington's ball. The defense stiffens up. Sean Sweesom will try this 43-yard field goal, but he's hooked it left. We remain at 14-13. Now in the fourth quarter. Carolina needs to get on the march here. This handoff will go to Deshaun Foster. He gets around left end, will scoop past midfield. A great run there. Now on the very next play. 2.5 minutes remaining. The pitch goes to D'Angelo Williams. This didn't work on the 2-point play, but it sure did work here. He gets about halfway down to the end zone, 22 yards. Carolina's cooking now. This reverse is going to go to Steve Smith. 3 different people have carried the ball, and all of them have picked up first downs, but Carolina could go no further. John Casey will be attempting a 29-yard field goal here. It's a little shaky, but it goes through. Carolina has taken their first lead. That's 16-14. With little time remaining, Washington will now get on the march. All sorts of changes at the line for both teams. Mark Brunell, he is looking for Brandon Lloyd. He makes the catch, gets it to the 44-yard line. Not quite field goal range, but now they've fallen behind. They're just inside midfield, 14 seconds to go. Can they pull off the miracle here? Brunell looks for Lloyd downfield. Incomplete, wasn't far enough anyway. And Carolina falls behind 14-0 and claws their way back to a 16-14 victory. Dangerously close to being one and done, the Panthers pull up their bootstraps and get it done. They make a small land acquisition here, taking over the Redskins' territory, but most importantly, they remain in the game. Our next wheel spin will be giving us the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to stay in the state, heading on over to Cleveland to face the Browns. Cleveland's keeping it close, but the Bengals are knocking on the door. Cleveland crowd the line, so the Bengals run around it. The pitch goes to Rudy Johnson. He finds the edge and gets into the end zone for the touchdown. We're here in the third quarter. That will extend the Bengal lead to 24-10. Cleveland tried coming back. They wound up pulling a touchdown back, but a scoreless fourth quarter leaves us with a 27-17 Bengal victory. The Browns returned to the NFL in 1999, but have yet to pick up a win in Imperialism. The Bengals take over their territory and are the sole owners of Ohio. This next spin is a close call. It's going to pass the Steelers and hit the Saints. They're going to head to the north, but dipping far enough to the west that they're going to hit the territory of the Houston Texans. The Texans aren't in Tecmo Super Bowl III, so we're going to dress them in the uniforms of the former Houston team, the Oilers. The Saints lead this game 14-7 in the third quarter. Out of the shotgun, Drew Brees is going to fire downfield. Marquez Colston makes the catch, gets into the end zone, scoring the touchdown for the Saints. They maintained a solid consistency throughout this game, scoring a touchdown in every quarter and winning 28-13. The Saints were a resurgent unit in 2006, making it to the NFC Championship game for the first time in franchise history. They start off Imperialism by beating the Texans, taking them off the map. The bottom-ranked Oakland Raiders are taking the field. They have to go to San Diego to play the Chargers. San Diego holds a 15-3 lead in the third quarter. This pitch goes to LaDainian Tomlinson. They have no chance of getting a hold of him. Tomlinson had a monstrous 2006 season in the midst of a monstrous career. He gives the Chargers a 22-3 lead here, and they have no problem extending that to a 32-3 final score. The Chargers win this game by 29 points, but it always felt like it could have been a lot more. The Chargers will take over their territory, and now 10 different teams have won our first 10 games. With 10 teams now out, the wheel will select the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're heading to the Northwest to face the Falcons. Someone's guaranteed to pick up their second victory this season. And the Jags want to be that team. They're at the Atlanta 6-yard line. Maurice Jones-Drew bullies his way through the defense and scores the touchdown. That will extend the Jaguars' lead up to 17-6. Atlanta pulled back a touchdown before Jacksonville tacked on another one. They will win this game 24-13. It wasn't the blowout that the Jaguars put on the Buccaneers, but it was a very solid win here against Atlanta. The Jags will take over their territory, and again, they are the first team this season to win twice. The Dallas Cowboys are set to go to Arizona to face the Cardinals, who've already expanded their land twice. Dallas have had a terrible time of things in this game, turning the ball over constantly, and now the Cardinals are cashing in on this diving touchdown catch in the end zone by the one and only Larry Fitzgerald. In all, the Cowboys threw one interception and lost 4 fumbles in this game and get creamed 37-8. It's enough of an upset that the Cardinals won this game, but for them to win it by nearly 30 points is downright shocking. They will take over Dallas's territory, and the Cardinals join the Lions as bottom 5 teams who have won a game this season. 20 teams now remain. The wheel will find the New England Patriots, our number 1 ranked team this season, will be taking the field in Philadelphia against the Eagles. New England lead 3-0 in the first quarter. Philadelphia is on the doorstep. Brian Westbrook takes a direct snap and finds his way into the end zone. The Eagles now take a 7-3 lead. New England will tack on a field goal. It's now 7-6, and they have the ball on the Eagle 25-yard line. Tom Brady's going to roll out. Look for old reliable Troy Brown. Makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, New England. It's 13-7. That's going to be our halftime score. Now in the third quarter, the Eagles have it in New England territory. Westbrook once again, direct snap through the middle, beats the defense, races toward the end zone. They catch him and force the fumble. Ty Warren goes downfield to make that play. The Pats recover, get the touchback. Later in the quarter, they're now on the Eagle 10-yard line. Facing the pressure, Brady gets it off to Rashae Caldwell. He does the rest, getting around the defenders to score, putting the Patriots now ahead 20-7. The defense holds on until the very end, where the Eagles score a late touchdown. New England goes into Philly and wins this game 20-13. For the Patriots, this is an early entry into the game, but they do a good job going on the road and winning against a good team. They will take over the Eagles' territory, and they are now very much part of this map. And now that they're getting right back into it. They're chosen by the wheel. They're going to head toward the south, and they're going to take on their division rival, the New York Jets. It's been a close game to this point, but the Patriots are using the fourth quarter to take it over. Troy Brown makes the catch, gets into the end zone. He has been an invaluable member of this franchise for well over a decade. They extend out to a 21-6 lead, and they walk out with a 28-13 victory. The real Patriots had won 3 Super Bowls by this point in the decade, and in Imperialism that hasn't been the case. Maybe they'll use this season as a way to start making up for it. They take over the Jets' territory, and only the Steelers and the Ravens remain with them in the Northeast. And wouldn't you know it, the Patriots are once again getting on the field. This time, the Steelers are coming in to play them at home. New England clings to a 17-14 lead in the third quarter. Ben Roethlisberger finds tight end Heath Miller. He gets into the end zone, and Pittsburgh has taken the lead at 21-17. They maintain that lead in the fourth quarter, where they have it at the New England 20. Willie Parker cuts through the middle, squeezes his way through the defenders, gets into the end zone. Pittsburgh now has a 2-score lead. It's 28-17. All Patriot comeback attempts were thwarted by the Steeler defense. Pittsburgh goes into New England, wins this game 28-17. It's exceedingly rare, both in the real world and imperialism, to see the Steelers win a big game against the Patriots, but they've done it here. They have taken over New England's land, and the number one team in our rankings have been eliminated. It's time now to revisit the Battle of Missouri. The Rams will play the Chiefs in Kansas City. This game very quickly turned into a defense optional type situation. The teams are exchanging touchdowns rapidly here in the first half. The Rams have scored the first two. The Chiefs get Larry Johnson into the end zone. Then the Rams respond. Kevin Curtis makes the catch. The Rams will actually hold the Chiefs to a field goal here, resulting in a 21-17 halftime score. The exchanges again come very quickly in the second half. Larry Johnson catches the short pass and runs it all the way in. Now Torrey Holt makes the catch in the end zone. We now enter the fourth quarter. The Rams lead 28-24. Larry Johnson takes the handoff, hurdles one, hurdles another. Johnson was nearly at 300 scrimmage yards in this game. The Chiefs lead 31-28. Here come the Rams, though. They set up shop at the KC 23-yard line. This is a reverse to Torrey Holt. Gets around the edge, weaving his way in and out around the defenders, scoring the touchdown, and the Rams have now retaken the lead at 35-31. Here come the Chiefs, though. It's 4th and 13. Damien Heward looks downfield. Eddie Kennison, it gets knocked away, an actual defensive play, leading to another Ram touchdown and a 42-31 final score victory. Many may have expected this to be a high-scoring game, and it lived up to the billing. The Rams held them on a field goal, held them on a fourth down, so technically they won this game on defense. They take over the Chiefs' land. They own the state of Missouri, and if they can keep scoring points like that, maybe they can do some damage going forward. We've now eliminated half the teams in the field. The 49ers are up next. They're being sent to the northeast. That's going to catch the southeastern corner of the Seahawks territory. This will be our next game. The Niners have hung in there, but Seattle's been too tough. They lead by 8 in the fourth quarter. That lead's getting extended right here by this Darrell Jackson touchdown catch from Matt Hasselbeck. In the fourth quarter, the Seahawks lead this game 31-16, and 31-16 will be the final score. The 49ers were our final bottom 5 team to take the field, and they had to go to our reigning Imperialism champions. They put up a fight, but they couldn't win. The Seahawks will take over their territory and now own the West Coast alongside the San Diego Chargers. We head back to the wheel. It's going to land on the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to head to the north. They've already taken out the Browns. Now they're heading on to face the Vikings. It's a lower scoring game than expected. 14-7 Cincy lead in the fourth. Rudy Johnson goes up the middle, pushes his way through the defense, gets into the end zone for the touchdown. The Bengals get up here 21-7. The scoring we expected started showing up here in the fourth quarter, and it was almost all Cincinnati. They go on the road and win this game 35-14. With 2 victories now, Cincinnati should be taken seriously moving forward. They will take over the Vikings' land, and they are the biggest presence right now in the Midwest. We're getting the easiest wheel spin of them all. It lands on the Dolphins, nowhere else for them to go but to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars. We pick things up in the second half. Miami leads 10-7. Joey Harrington at quarterback looks toward tight end Randy McMichael alone in the end zone for the touchdown. The Dolphins extend out to a 17-7 lead in Jacksonville. The Jags have it, but they're down to 2nd and 20. They're going to run Fred Taylor to the right. He's going to cut all the way back into the left, and 2nd and 20 becomes 1st and 10. A 31-yard run there by Taylor. It's even worse now. It's 3rd and 27. They're going to give it to Taylor again. He cuts right, avoids a tackle, racing for the first down, and he appears to have it. What a drive here by Fred Taylor so far. They're going to give him a playoff. This pitch goes to Maurice Jones-Drew. He finds the sideline and then finds the end zone. The Jaguars are up against it, but they have responded. They have cut this lead down to 17-14. Miami gets it. Now they're in a precarious 3rd and 26. They're going to try to run it, but John Henderson said that's not happening. Takes Ronnie Brown down in the end zone for the safety. It's now 17-16. The Jags are receiving the free kick. This is Maurice Jones-Drew, who just scored the touchdown. He breaks a couple of tackles. He gets to midfield. He is going to pick up an amazing block in the back, taking out 3 would-be tacklers, and Drew will glide into the end zone. Jacksonville throws 16 consecutive points on the board. They lead 23-17. The Dolphins have taken it down to the Jaguar 23-yard line. They could be thinking field goal here, but with 3 minutes and change left, I don't know. The pitch is going to Sammy Morris, and he puts that conversation to bed by picking up the first down, a 16-yard gain. That will lead to this touchdown pass, the second of the game for Randy McMichael. This will put Miami up 24-23, presumably. However, for some reason, they're going for a 2-pointer here, and Ronnie Brown will pick it up. So Miami leads by 2 instead of by 1. Interesting play call there. The Jaguars are on the march now. David Garrard looking downfield, dumps it off to Maurice Jones-Drew. He's had a huge game, but here he will fumble the ball. Miami scoops it up. Jacksonville scrambles to get him down. Now the Jaguars defense has to hold. It's 3rd and goal. The draw to Ronnie Brown. He has open space, but it closes quickly. They're able to get him down. Might they try to go for this? No. After all the aggression they showed earlier, now they're going to kick the 19-yard field goal. A touchdown would have put the game away and made that 2-point conversion worth it. Instead, the field goal is good. Miami leads by 5. Drew gets a good kick return, but Jacksonville has 3rd and 10 here. Garrard looks downfield for Maurice Jones-Drew. He's making up for that lost fumble. Gets it down inside the 15-yard line. Jacksonville now has 28 seconds remaining in the game. The draw will go to Fred Taylor. He's going to cut it to the right, and he will get into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. The crowd goes crazy. Jacksonville makes the comeback. They beat the Dolphins 30-28. Wasn't expecting that game to be such a nail-biter, but that's exactly what we got. The Jaguars take over the Dolphins' territory. They're an interesting team. They were 8-5 before losing their last 3 games by a combined total of 15 points, to finish at 8-8 despite outscoring their opponents during the season by nearly 100 points. They're a lot better than their record indicates, and they have the potential to beat anybody going forward. We talked about the kind of threat the Cincinnati Bengals could be. Well, here's their chance to prove it. The champs are coming to see them. The Colts are at the Bengals. The first half of this game saw some touchdowns get exchanged. This deep pass to Marvin Harrison gets Indy on the board. Chad Johnson responds for the Bengals. Now Dallas Clark gets in on the act, and Kenny Watson in for the injured Rudy Johnson gets himself a touchdown. It's 14-14 going to the second half. Now Cincy has it in Indianapolis territory. Carson Palmer looks deep for TJ Houshmandzadeh. He's not really known as a deep threat, but he gets it done on that play. The Bengals in the third quarter lead 21-14. Terrence Wilkins will receive the ensuing kickoff. He doesn't have incredible speed, but he's able to get through these would-be tacklers. The Bengals are finally able to get him down at the 24, but Indy immediately takes advantage. This touchdown pass goes to Reggie Wayne, and the Bengals were in the lead, but they didn't hold it for long. We're quickly tied up at 21 apiece. Now Cincy's driving again. They're at the 35 of Indy. Palmer looking downfield for tight end Reggie Kelly goes up, makes a great catch, and picks up the touchdown. He would certainly be the forgotten man in this offense. Cincinnati gets up 27-21, and that's where it's going to stay. Dwight Freeney gets out a paw and blocks the extra point. So now it's 3rd and 13 for Indy in their own territory. This dump-off pass goes to Dominique Rhodes, spins away, stays in bounds, and runs it downfield past the 30-yard line. A 31-yard pickup. Now from the 17-yard line, a very similar formation. And Manning dumps it to Rhodes again, and he's able to get it down to about the 1-yard line. And who else but Dominique Rhodes to get this touchdown? He dives across the goal line, and that blocked extra point now looms large as the Colts take a 1-point lead. But the Bengals have the firepower to make up for it. Even here on 3rd and 14, Palmer looks deep for Houshmandzadeh, makes a tough catch to pick up the first down. It is 3rd and 21 this time. Palmer looks downfield, goes to Hoosh, he leaps up, makes the catch. He's well beyond 100 yards receiving, Palmer well beyond 300 yards passing. It's 3rd down again. Can they convert? Palmer will go to Chad Johnson. Remember him? He will make the catch and get the first down. The drive continues. Now it's just going to be all first down. The Colts defense looking tired out there. Palmer throws to Reggie Kelly, his second touchdown pass of the game. We are under 3 minutes left to go. The Bengals kick the extra point and they lead by 6. Here comes Manning and the offense. The Bengals back up the defense. It's 2nd and 7. The pass goes to Marvin Harrison, wide receiver screen. He's able to get out past the 50-yard line. It is now 3rd and 9. They're nearing the 25-yard line. Manning gets rid of it quick to Harrison, catches it at the 10. Here we go. 2 short runs makes it 3rd down. Manning drops back, quick screen to Reggie Wayne. He dives short. He can pick up a first down here, but he is short there as well. So here we go. It's 4th and inches, yet not 4th and goal. The game is unequivocally on the line here. The Colts are going to run it out to the left, and it goes nowhere. The Bengals defense holds, and they have taken down the champs. They win this game 34-28. We talked about how the Jacksonville Jaguars finished their season at 8-8. The Bengals did the same thing. They were 8-5 before losing their last 3 games, including one by a single point and one in overtime. They too are better than their 8-8 record. They defeat the Colts, they take over their territory, and this season's Super Bowl champion is one and done. We've got a photo finish to look at here, and this arrow coming out of the Cardinals logo straddles the Red River but never actually hits it, sending them into New Orleans to face the Saints. We've had back-to-back barn burners. Might we get a third? It's not looking that way. The Saints already lead 7-0 in the second quarter. This handoff goes to Deuce McAllister. He breaks a tackle and is able to run it in the rest of the way for the score. The Saints ride the home crowd to a 14-0 lead. But the Cardinals are not out of this one, and they have fought back to make it 14-10. We're now in the third quarter. Play action. Matt Leinart drops a dime to Anquan Boldin. You didn't hear that about Leinart too much in the NFL. The Cardinals have now taken a 17-14 lead. It's up to New Orleans to respond. They've taken it down to about the 20-yard line. Play action from Breeze. Throws it to Devery Henderson where only he can make the catch. A diving catch at that. New Orleans back in the lead. 21-17. The Cardinals have driven it past the 20-yard line. We're still in the third quarter. Matt Leinart throws it in the flat to Bryant Johnson. He runs toward the end zone, but is stopped at just around the 1-yard line. On the very next play, this touchdown pass goes to Larry Fitzgerald, and the Cardinals have once again retaken the lead. It's 24-21. We now switch over to the fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 5. The Saints are going to run Reggie Bush up the middle. He does a double hurdle, getting away from the defense, scoring the touchdown, and the lead has once again changed hands at 28-24. Arizona is 2nd and 15 now, just outside the 50. Play action. Leinart looks for Anquan Boldin, out-muscles everybody to make the catch. 29-yard gain. Nothing on 1st and 2nd though. On 3rd down, Leinart's going to check it down to Leonard Pope. He'll make the catch but come up short, and despite trailing by 4, the Cardinals are going to send out kicker Neil Rackers to cut this down to a 1-point game. From 33 yards out, Rackers easily makes it. The Cardinals are now going to have to depend on their defense. They've allowed New Orleans to get to the 42-yard line. The pitch goes to Reggie Bush, and that plan on counting on the defense doesn't look like it's going to work. They've got him at the 9-yard line, but he hasn't gone down. He escapes and scores the touchdown. Bush had himself quite the second half here, scoring 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. The Saints hold on from there and win this game 35-27. The Cardinals were a bottom 5 team this season, but they sure didn't perform like it. That said, they went into New Orleans and couldn't get the victory. The Saints will take over their territory, and looking at the map, it would appear they now have the largest piece of land in the nation. And having the largest land often means having to defend it. The Jaguars land on the wheel, head straight west to take on New Orleans in New Orleans. Jacksonville leads by 4 at the 4-yard line with the third quarter coming to an end. Fred Taylor gets the pitch, gets it inside the pylon, scoring the touchdown. His great imperialism continues. The Jaguars extend out to a 21-10 lead and handle their business from there, winning this game 35-17. The Saints just came off a huge victory but weren't able to carry on the momentum. The Jaguars remain scorching hot. They take over the Saints' territory. Now they have the largest piece of land and are certainly going to be welcoming some invaders very soon. We'll be heading to a different part of the country now, though. The Ravens are chosen by the wheel. They're going to go and take on the Steelers for control of the Northeast. With the Cleveland Browns eliminated this season, we're going to be putting the Ravens back into their uniforms. The Steelers are inside their own 10-yard line. We're tied at 7 late in the first half. Ben Roethlisberger tries to throw it past Ed Reed. That was a bad idea. Reed picks it off and immediately runs it back into the end zone for the touchdown. A backbreaker kind of play for the Steelers. They only trail 14-7, but the floodgates sure opened up from here. The Ravens go into Pittsburgh and win it 31-14. You might have expected the Ravens to run into a little bit more trouble with Pittsburgh, but that wasn't the case. They will take over the Steelers' land. They look a lot more prominent on the map now, as they are the final team standing in the Northeast. We thought teams would be going after the Jaguars, but instead they're the ones on the hunt. Looking at this photo finish, this arrow is just gonna bypass hitting the Broncos and will instead go into the territory of the Chargers. This has the potential to be an amazing game. Jacksonville at San Diego. Late in the first half, this game is tied up at 7. David Garrard takes the shotgun snap, runs with it himself, spins away from a tackle, and will enter the end zone for the Jaguars. We're going to be heading into halftime. The Jaguars lead this game 14-7. Coming out in the third quarter, the Chargers have it at their own 35. Phillip Rivers is going to throw to the sideline. Eric Parker will make the catch, and he will outrun everybody. He picked up a great block there from Antonio Gates downfield. Parker's touchdown ties this thing up at 14 apiece. We still remain in the third quarter. The Jaguars have it at their own 32-yard line. This is Maurice Jones-Drew up the middle. He pushes through a linebacker, and he's taking off. The Chargers are giving chase, and they get him down at about the 20-yard line. A few plays later, it's 3rd and goal from the 9. Garrard scans the field, fits this pass into Reggie Williams as the clock expires in the third quarter. The Jaguars get back in front. The score is now 21-14. The Chargers are at their own 23-yard line, facing a 3rd and long. This is play action to Tomlinson. The pass goes up to Vincent Jackson. The play action works to perfection. He gets it down to the 39-yard line. On the very next play, this will be an actual handoff to Tomlinson, and we know what he can do with it. He bursts through the middle. He drags defenders down to the 4-yard line. It is now 1st and goal. And with all the attention on Tomlinson, Lorenzo Neal is able to sneak a handoff through the middle of the defense for the game-tying touchdown. It is 21-21. We should mention we're in the fourth quarter. The Chargers defense gets them the ball back at the 12-yard line. Tomlinson bursts through the middle, spins away, and they're giving chase to him at midfield. They hold him, but he knocks everybody off, hurdles a tackler, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is LaDainian Tomlinson, an 88-yard touchdown run to give his team a 28-21 lead. Can the defense hold again? Jacksonville's moved into Charger territory. Garrard drops back to pass. We're down to a minute to go. Fred Taylor makes the catch at the 30-yard line. They gain a few yards on first down. It's now 2nd and 3 from the 24. Time ticks away. Garrard has time, looks toward the end zone. Tight end George Reister uses his big frame to make the catch, giving Jacksonville the touchdown. As it stands, it's 28-27. Might they actually go for 2 here? They will not. They're going to line up to kick the extra point. We have 27 seconds remaining. Josh Scobie is going to put it up and put it through. We are tied at 28 apiece. This game is going to overtime. The Chargers have the ball first at their own 22-yard line. Phillip Rivers is going to roll out, dump it off to Tomlinson, and this looks like some kind of nothing play, but in reality, it's Tomlinson. He picked up 25 yards. It's now 2nd and 10. In the shotgun, Rivers, he may be looking for it all, throws it to Vincent Jackson, bodies the defender, makes the catch, taken down at the 6-yard line, and the Chargers will not waste any time. This will be a 24-yard field goal attempt for Nate Kading. No pressure coming at him. It's shaky, but it's good, and this was indeed an incredible game. The Chargers take it to overtime and win it 31-28. And woe be unto the Jaguars. They were an amazing team, potentially the greatest 8-8 team the NFL's ever seen. They were drawn in to play the number 2 ranked team on their field. Took it to overtime before they finally fell. The Chargers have now taken over the Jaguars' territory, and this biggest piece of land is continuously changing hands. Can the Chargers defend it? We're not going to waste any time finding out. For the first time, the Broncos have been chosen on the wheel, and they're getting right into the action, heading into San Diego to face the Chargers. The Chargers lead 14-7 in the third quarter from the Denver 25-yard line. Phillip Rivers finds Antonio Gates in the flat, dragging a tackler, spinning and hurdling, showing his athleticism, getting it down to the 8-yard line. After that, this pitch goes to Tomlinson. He's just making this look too easy. If you're at all wondering about how good LaDainian Tomlinson was in 2006, he was named league MVP on the back of his 31 touchdowns. He scores 2 in this game. Chargers handled their business, 31-14 victors. So far, so good when it comes to defending that land. The Chargers will take over the Broncos' territory. We're now down to 7 teams, and every team on this map has played a game except for our reigning NFC champion Chicago Bears. There will be no rest for the weary. The wheel selects the Rams. They're heading to the southeast where they're going to take on the Chargers. Late in the first half, this game is tied at 14. The Rams are at the Charger 20-yard line. Bulger throws to Torrey Holt, but they quickly wrangle him and get him down. That's going to lead to a field goal attempt here from Jeff Wilkins. The rush comes after him, but he puts it past them and puts it through. The Rams lead 17-14. The Chargers will look to match that as the first half comes to an end. Phillip Rivers steps up in the pocket, floats this pass to Antonio Gates, who has totally cooked his defender, and he will score the touchdown with 1 second remaining on the clock. A potential back-breaking play there for the Rams. They will trail it at the half, 21-17. In the second half, they've moved it to the 19. The pitch goes to Steven Jackson down the sideline, breaks a tackle at the 5, scoring the touchdown. So the Rams overcome that terrible play at the end of the first half to take this lead at 24-21. Here come the Chargers. They're just inside Ram territory. LaDainian Tomlinson had fewer than 10 rushing yards in the first half, but he's making up for it here. Gets the ball down to about the 17-yard line. A few plays later, Tomlinson will take the carry into the end zone. And as the Rams respond, the Chargers respond as well. They take a 28-24 lead. The Rams set up shop at their own 33-yard line. This is play action. Bulger will throw it to Steven Jackson, makes the catch between several defenders, takes off, they can't get him down. He is dragging somebody more than 15 yards into the end zone for the touchdown. The Chargers defense is a clown show. The Rams have now gotten back into the lead, 31-28. The Chargers more methodically move it down the field. They pitch it to Tomlinson. He gets the edge, and once that happens, it's over. Once again, with 1 second remaining on the clock, this time in the third quarter, the Chargers lead 35-31. We have an entire quarter to go. Facing the other direction, the Rams at their own 27. Bulger drops back, dumps it off to Steven Jackson. He makes some moves, get past midfield. This is an incredible play by Jackson. He is now over 100 yards rushing and receiving in this game. It is now 3rd and 18 though. Bulger looking downfield, throws for Torrey Holt, goes up, makes the catch for the first down. The Rams have a chance here. Out of the shotgun, Bulger steps up, finds the tiniest of windows to Torrey Holt. He makes the catch for the touchdown. The back and forth continues. The Rams now lead 38-35. It's the Chargers' turn. Still 3 whole minutes left in the game. Play action. Rivers will throw to Tomlinson, goes up, makes the catch, gets taken down at the 35. Now on the next play, 2:53 remaining. Rivers rolls out, will dump it to Tomlinson. He gets some momentum going. He's racing toward the end zone. He hasn't gone down yet. They get him down. He is now also over 100 yards receiving. Now it's 3rd and goal from the 5, and just like in the last game, Lorenzo Neal, with all the attention on Tomlinson, takes it up the middle to score, and now the Chargers have taken the lead again, 42-38. The Rams are at their own 33-yard line. We're inside the 2-minute warning. The pitch goes to Steven Jackson, and he is a one-man wrecking crew getting it down past the 30, past the 25. Over 300 yards of offense for Jackson in this game. On the next play from the 22-yard line, this is play action. The pass goes to Isaac Bruce, makes the catch on the goal line for the touchdown. There's still a minute 18 to go, and the Rams have retaken the lead. Now on the ensuing kickoff to Michael Turner, he is hit by Leroy Glover. The ball is loose and the Rams fall on it. Their defense couldn't make a stop. Their special teams do. They tack on a field goal, and this game ends with the Rams winning 48-42. The teams combined to score 38 points in the first half, and not to be undone, they came out and scored a combined 52 in the second half. If you love offense, this was your game. The Rams win. They will take over the Chargers' territory, and the Chargers just set an Imperialism record they're not going to be thrilled with. The most points ever scored in a losing effort. Another top 5 team has gone down. Only the Ravens and the yet-to-play Chicago Bears remain. The Cincinnati Bengals are once again being put to the test. They will welcome the Baltimore Ravens. We're scoreless in the first quarter. The Bengals have it at their own 32-yard line. Carson Palmer has all day, fires deep to Chad Johnson, catches it at the 35-yard line, shakes a tackler, and runs it in for the touchdown. That's 68 yards on a very good defense. The Bengals take a 7-0 lead. Baltimore has it now at their own 45-yard line. This is play action. Steve McNair rolls out, fires deep to Derek Mason. He makes the catch, but Dexter Jackson, safety of the Bengals, forces the ball loose, and the Bengals have recovered. They're getting a pretty decent return out of this, just about to their own 40-yard line. They methodically move it down. We're now in the second quarter. Rudy Johnson takes the handoff, avoids the defensive lineman, and gets in. The Bengals now lead 14-0. The teams exchange touchdowns. We now get late into the game. It's 21-7. This direct snap goes to Jamal Lewis, and he's able to get into the end zone. So Baltimore, who has been on the back foot the whole game, have closed the gap to 21-14. It's now going to come down to this onside kick. The ball's bouncing around, but the Bengals are able to land on it, run out the clock, and get the clutch victory, 21-14. First it was the Colts, now it's the Ravens. The Bengals have eliminated their second top 5 team. They will take over Baltimore's territory, and we're now down to just 5 teams remaining. We're getting a first-time occurrence ever in Imperialism. The wheel lands on the Rams, and we're going to get a double photo finish. We first needed to see that this arrow is bypassing the Chicago Bears territory, and now we need to expand the arrow to see that it is hitting the territory of the Cincinnati Bengals. So what a great occurrence this was, and what a great game this can be. The Rams take their opening drive down to the Cincinnati 10-yard line. This pitch is going to Steven Jackson. He is going to get into the end zone. The Bengals quickly respond with a Chris Henry touchdown, and then Steven Jackson will get one of his own. This is still in the first quarter, and it has all the makings of another Rams shootout. They lead 14-7. We're still in the second quarter. They've gotten the ball back. They're inside the 1-yard line. Steven Jackson is blown up in the backfield. The Rams are going to uncharacteristically settle for a field goal here. This is almost blocked, but Wilkins gets it up and through. It's 17-7. That's going to be our halftime score. Cincinnati methodically moves the ball down to start the second half, and Rudy Johnson will punctuate it with a touchdown. Perhaps they needed to give their defense some rest. They took the air out of the ball there. They lead 17-14. But in typical Rams fashion, they scream down the field. They're at the 22-yard line. This is Steven Jackson up the middle. He is scoring his third touchdown of this game. And now the Rams have given themselves, once again, a 10-point lead. It's taken Cincy a while to get going, and they're kind of in desperation mode now. 2.5 minutes left in the game. Carson Palmer drops back the pass. His main target today has been Chris Henry. Catches it at the 20 and is faster than everybody else. He will score this touchdown, and the Bengals find themselves back in this game. It's 24-20. They're going to go for 2 points here so that a field goal can win them the game. The Rams back up. Palmer drops into a shotgun, perhaps to get a better view of the field, and he's able to find TJ Houshmandzadeh for the 2. Here comes the kickoff. They're actually going to kick it off, trusting their defense. Kevin Curtis takes the short kick and gets a pretty good return out of it. The Rams have gone now to 3rd and 5. Can the Bengals make this stop? Mark Bulger tries Steven Jackson. It's incomplete. So Cincy now has it at their own 29. Only 30 seconds left. They are dilly-dallying too much, but now Chris Henry's done it again. He's taken down just outside the 40. This will not be long enough for a field goal. So with 11 seconds to go, this is going to be it. Palmer has time in the pocket, looks for Hoosh, but they miscommunicate. That pass is incomplete, and the Rams hold on to win this game 24-22. It's not like the Rams' offensive performance in this game wasn't good, but it wasn't the 40-point-plus explosions they've been having. So in a sense, for them, they won a defensive battle. They will take over the territory of the Cincinnati Bengals. They have been the most accomplished team so far in this imperialism, but we still got the Seahawks and Panthers on either side of the country, and the NFC champion Bears sitting there next to them in the middle. And from our Final Four, the wheel will select the Chicago Bears, and now they're going to have to go into St. Louis to play the Rams. Offense versus defense. It's 7-7 in the first quarter, and the Rams are inside the 10. Mark Bulger is going to find tight end Joe Klopfenstein, the forgotten man of this offense, but he'll get the touchdown. The Bears block the extra point. The Rams lead 13-7. The Bears get back a field goal, and now the Rams open the second half with a kickoff. Devin Hester receives it at the 25, breaks a tackle, spins away from another one, and now it's going to be a race to the end zone, and Hester is going to win that race. The Bears now have taken the lead. It's 17-13. Later in the game, the Rams get a field goal. The Bears now have it up by 1. The Rams bring the defense up. The Bears check into a pass play, it looks like. Yes, Rex Grossman is going to fire across the middle, and Rashid Davis makes an incredible catch between 3 defenders, hold on to the ball. The Bears extend out to 24-16. The Rams haven't been able to do anything. We're at the 2-minute warning. This is a play-action pass deep to Isaac Bruce. He's running down past the 30, past the 20. The Bears finally catch up to him, so the Rams now have a chance. It's 4th down, 4th and 3, not 4th and goal. This is play-action, but Brian Urlacher screams into the backfield to take Mark Bulger down, and the Bears have finally ended the Rams' run, winning this game 24-16. It sure looked like we were in the midst of yet another shootout involving the Rams, but after scoring 13 first quarter points, the Bears held them to 3 the rest of the way. Chicago will take over the Rams' territory. We're down to 3 teams, and each of these teams have only won 1 game this season. Interestingly enough, it was the Seahawks and the Panthers in last season's title game. One of them is guaranteed to get back into that game, as the Bears are forced to play in the next game. Let's see how all this is going to shake out. Our last spin of the arrow for this season's Imperialism requires a photo finish. The Bears bypass the state of Nebraska and will hit the territory of the Seattle Seahawks. For the second straight season now, the Carolina Panthers are in the Imperialism Championship game. If the Bears win, they'll match up in the title game. If the Seahawks win, it'll not only be a rematch of last season's title game, but it'll be Seattle's fourth consecutive appearance. Let's find out what's going to happen. It's a defensive struggle here in the first quarter. Seattle's punting it away. The Bears try to block it, but they don't get to it. Instead, it's going to land in the hands of Devin Hester. He takes off between the defenders, and he's going to get this ball farther than it would have been had Chicago blocked the punt. He's down inside the 25-yard line. On 3rd and 7, Rex Grossman gets taken down by Grant Wistrom. That's going to make this field goal a lot harder, especially since the Bears are actually going to be punting this away. My goodness, this would have been about a 51-yard try, but they're taking it very, very safe. And this ball almost gets blocked as well. It's going to land in the end zone for a touchback. We're still scoreless. The Bears are finally moving the ball a little bit here in the second quarter. Rex Grossman's going to fire to Muhsin Muhammad. He makes the catch. That will lead to a Bears field goal. It's 3-0 as the first half is closing down. Seattle looks to get something going after the play action. This deep pass to Deion Branch is caught. They are in Chicago territory. They will now be trying a 52-yard field goal, except that Matt Hasselbeck gets up and throws it to Darrell Jackson. Seattle will retain possession. Now on second down from the 20-yard line. Play action again. Hasselbeck fires toward the end zone. It's Deion Branch again making the catch. Touchdown Seattle, the first touchdown of the game. We're going into the half with Seattle leading 7-3. They have it in the third quarter, backed up at their own 20-yard line. All sorts of movement on both sides of the ball. This is a reverse attempt to Deion Branch. He gets blown up in the backfield. Seattle will bring out the punter once again. Chicago's going to try to block this. I don't know how they didn't, but Devin Hester is still there to return it. He gets past midfield, breaks a tackle, and just runs straight ahead into the 25-yard line. It's 3rd and 3. Rex Grossman trying to get a first down here for his team. It's thrown incomplete to Bernard Berrien. Robbie Gould will come out for a 37-yard field goal attempt. It's good. The Bears have cut this to a 1-point game. Seattle has 3rd and 14 in their own territory, and they're just going to run Alexander and play this safe. He's taken down well short. The Bears have it now. 2nd and 16. Grossman has time in the pocket, throws out to Mark Bradley. That's incomplete. Now it's 4th and 16. Can they get anything going? Grant Wistrom will not allow it. Breaks through for the sack. The Seahawks run out the clock. And with all the offensive fireworks that we've had here lately, they're going to walk away with a 7-6 victory. And what a turn of events we have here. For the first time in Imperialism history, this being our 41st season, we're getting a rematch of the previous season's title game, and of all teams, it's the Seattle Seahawks and Carolina Panthers. The Seahawks tied the Vikings between 1973 and 1976 with their 4th consecutive appearance. For Carolina, this is their 3rd ever appearance, and they're doing it as an 8-8 team. If they beat the Seahawks, they'll become just the 2nd team in 41 seasons to win Imperialism without a winning record. All that out of the way, we need to spin this wheel to find out where this game's going to be played. And if we're going to have a rematch, let's have a rematch. The wheel will barely land on the Seahawks, and just like last season's game, this one will be in Carolina. The Seahawks will try to become just the 5th team to win back-to-back Imperialism titles. The Panthers are trying to get there first. Let's now play the 2006 Imperialism Championship game. The Seahawks have the ball at the edge of field goal range on 3rd and 5. Sean Alexander gets very close to the first down. The sticks are out and he is just short. And on 4th and inches, they will be sending out kicker Josh Brown to put the first points on the board. This will be from 50 yards away. He puts it up, it's got plenty of leg, and it splits the uprights. Seattle takes a 3-0 lead. Carolina now is punting from their own territory. The Seahawks are coming to block it, and they do. That ball falls flat on the 33-yard line, where Seattle will take possession. They've moved it to the 15. We're now in the second quarter. Matt Hasselbeck looks into the end zone for Darrell Jackson, but it's knocked away, and Seattle will once again have to settle for a field goal. A much shorter kick this time. 33 yards from Josh Brown is good. Seattle leads 6-0 despite dominating this game. Carolina's finally getting something going. Jake Delhomme fires to Drew Carter, a perfect pass. Carter in for the injured Steve Smith. Carolina's moving the ball now inside the 10-yard line. They're going to run Deshaun Foster up the middle. An 8-yard touchdown run puts Carolina on the board with the extra point. They've taken the lead at 7-6. There's still time remaining in the first half. 1:40 to be exact. Seattle has it at their own 29-yard line. Hasselbeck throws it deep to Deion Branch, makes the catch, leaps over 2 tacklers, gets a lot of yak, putting Seattle inside the 30-yard line. On 3rd and 1 with 46 seconds remaining, the direct snap to Sean Alexander does not work this time, and for the 3rd time in the half, they're going to be trotting out Josh Brown for the field goal. This one will be from 42 yards out. The pressure comes, but Brown gets it off through the uprights again. The Seahawks lead at the half, 9-7. In the 3rd quarter, Carolina's at their own 40-yard line. This is a play action. The pass goes to Keyshawn Johnson. He goes up and makes the catch. Carolina is getting it done here, 30-yard gain. On the very next play, Seattle calls a defensive audible. Delhomme will hand this off to Deshaun Foster, cuts inside, gets it down to just inside the 10-yard line. A big play there. On the very next play, it's 1st and goal from the 9. The pitch goes to D'Angelo Williams. He gets the edge and will score the touchdown. While Seattle's settling for field goals, Carolina is getting it into the end zone. 14-9 is our score. Seattle is at the Carolina 35-yard line. Hasselbeck drops back, gets sacked by Chris Jenkins, knocking them out of field goal range, and also knocking Hasselbeck out of the game. He is going to be replaced by Seneca Wallace. They get the ball back. It's 3rd and 12 in their own territory. Wallace gets eaten alive there by Julius Peppers. Seattle has no choice but to go for it. It's 4th and 21. Wallace drops back to pass. He will throw to Deion Branch. That's overthrown, incomplete. Carolina runs clock, kicks a field goal, and win this game 17-9. And with that victory, the Carolina Panthers have done something that they've not done in real life: win a championship. They take down the 2006 Imperialism title, joining the 1989 Cincinnati Bengals as the only 2 teams without a winning record to capture it all. Despite the name power attached to it, Super Bowl 41 featured an unlikely matchup. That showed up in Imperialism, as the Colts went one and done, and despite making the final 3, the Bears only won 1 game. Yet, the Imperialism title game between the Seahawks and the Panthers was even more unlikely, not just because they went 9-7 and 8-8 in 2006 respectively, but because they faced off in the title game the previous season. Whereas the Seahawks won that game, the Panthers took home the crown in this one. Even at 8-8, it's not as if the Panthers were bereft of talent. Offensively, they featured one of the best receivers in the league in Steve Smith, with a great 1-2 punch in the backfield, consisting of Deshaun Foster and D'Angelo Williams. Mike Wall was a veteran presence in the interior O-line, while Jordan Gross was a rising star at left tackle. Defensively, the Panthers featured an excellent front seven, led by Mike Rucker, Chris Jenkins, and impending Hall of Famer Julius Peppers, who at times in this run proved unstoppable. Chris Gamble and Mike Minter starred in the secondary, with Gamble contributing greatly in the return game as well. We saw our fair share of higher scoring games during the first half of games, but not too many of them were close. However, in the second half of games, we saw some spinning scoreboards that were also close, highlighted by the circus that was Rams vs. Chargers. Yet, the last two games were decided by hard-nosed, old-fashioned defense. Seattle got through Chicago, only to fall short of back-to-back titles against Carolina. And despite only 2 wins this season, Carolina sits on top of the season standings, with the 4 teams sitting beneath them all winning more. Our top winners this season, with 4 each, the Bengals and the Jaguars, each joined Carolina in going 8-8 during the 06 season, proving that this season was truly wide open. The overall standings finally see some movement, with the Vikings getting 1 win this season to stand alone with 63 overall. And not only did the Rams notch their 60th win, by virtue of fewer losses, they have now dislodged the Cowboys from the 3rd overall spot. Only 12 teams here since the first season of Imperialism have winning records, although all 3 debutantes between 1995 and 96 are on the right side of 500. Thank you so much for making it to this point in the video. As mentioned in the description, all the game footage for this season's Imperialism was captured on a dying laptop, which at times hindered the overall presentation. That issue has now been solved. I appreciate you sticking through that, and would also greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like, some shares, and if you haven't yet done so, clicking that subscribe button. Let's take one more look at the sight that I'm not even sure fans of the Carolina Panthers thought they could see. They still search for their first Lombardi trophy, but they can always call themselves Imperialism champions. As unlikely as this season's win was, a win in 2007 is even less likely, for out from the shadows a juggernaut will rise, chomping at the bit to tear through the league once again and finish the job they couldn't in real life. Make sure to join us to see how that goes. Until next time, thank you again for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.